What if I told you that getting up off the floor after 70 is not really about strength? That there is a specific, learnable sequence, a trick your body can be taught in a week that lets you rise from the floor calmly, on your own, without pulling on anything, without calling for anyone, no help required? Most people over 70 have never been shown it. They believe that if they ended up on the floor, they would simply have to be strong enough or lucky enough or wait for someone to come. And that belief quietly changes how they live. They stop kneeling in the garden. They stop reaching under the bed. Some stop getting down on the floor with their grandchildren at all, not because they cannot get down, but because they are no longer sure they could get back up. That is not meant to upset you. It is meant to hand you something back. Because by the end of this video, you will know the exact sequence, step by step. And stay with me, because there is one detail about how you practice it that decides whether it actually works when you need it, and almost everyone gets that detail exactly backwards. I will show you the right way. Let me also be honest with you before we start, because it matters. No trick fully replaces leg strength, and if your legs are very weak, this sequence will be hard at first. But here's the encouraging truth. For most people, the reason they cannot get up is not that their body lacks the strength. It is that nobody ever taught them the order. They try to stand the way a 40-year-old stands, straight up from the middle of the floor, and when that fails, they believe they cannot get up at all. Here is why this matters so much. Research on falls has found that roughly half of older people who fall are unable to get up again on their own, even when they are not injured at all. Think about that. Uninjured, capable people stuck on their own floor simply because the way up is a skill nobody rehearsed with them. And doctors have a name for what happens when someone stays down too long waiting for help. They call it the long lie. And the longer it lasts, the harder the whole recovery becomes, which is exactly why learning to get up and practicing it before you ever need it is one of the most protective skills you can own after 70. Now think about how anyone gets onto a roof. Nobody jumps from the ground. They climb a ladder, one rung at a time, and every rung is easy. Standing up from the floor works exactly the same way. Nobody over 70 should ever try to rise straight up from flat on their back. That is jumping to the roof. Instead, you climb through positions, and every single position on the way is stable, restful, and small. That is the whole trick. The floor to your feet is not one impossible movement. It is a ladder of 5 easy ones. I call it roll, crawl, climb. Here is the sequence, rung by rung. But first, your safety, and I mean this more than usual today because we are practicing on the floor. Practice only on a carpeted floor or a rug, next to a sturdy, heavy piece of furniture, a sofa or a solid armchair, never a wheeled chair or a lightweight table. Practice when you are feeling well, with your phone in your pocket, and the first few times, practice when someone else is home. If you have a condition your doctor is watching, or getting down to the floor is itself painful, talk to them first, and know that everything here can be learned in stages without ever starting flat on the floor. I will show you how in a moment. Here is the full ladder. Rung 1, roll. From your back, bend your knees and roll your whole body to one side, all together, shoulders and hips as one piece. Rest there, a breath. Rung 2, sit. Use your lower arm and then both hands to push the floor away until you are sitting on your hip, propped on your hands. Rest again. There is no prize for speed, and resting at every rung is part of the technique, not a failure of it. Rung 3, all fours. Turn onto your hands and knees. For most people, this position alone changes everything, because from all fours, you are no longer stuck, you can move. Rung 4, crawl. Crawl the few feet to your sofa or sturdy chair, and place both hands flat on the seat. Rung 5, climb. Bring your stronger leg forward so that foot is flat on the floor like a knight kneeling. Now lean your chest forward over your hands, push down through that front foot and through your arms, and rise, bringing the back leg up to meet the front. Then simply turn and sit down on the very sofa that helped you up. Take a moment there. You are up, you did it alone, and you did it without one single desperate pull. Feel how different that is. Not one giant effort, but 5 small, calm moves, and a rest between every one of them. The floor stops being a trap the moment it becomes a ladder. Now, here is the detail I promised you at the start, the one almost everyone gets exactly backwards. When people practice this, They naturally start at rung 1, lying on the floor, and try to work up. Do the opposite. Practice the ladder backwards, starting from the last rung. Day 1, do not go to the floor at all. Simply stand at your sofa, lower yourself into that kneeling night position with your hands on the seat, and practice rung 5, rising to a stand 3 calm times. That is the whole session. A few days later, start from all fours in front of the sofa and practice rungs 4 and 5, then from sitting on your hip. Only when every later rung feels easy do you begin from flat on your back. Why backwards? 2 reasons. The last rung is the one your safety truly depends on, so it deserves the most rehearsals. And practicing this way means you are never stuck somewhere on the ladder you have not already mastered, so every session ends in success, standing on your own 2 feet. That is how confidence is built, 1 rung deep at a time. This ladder, along with the chair rise strength work that powers rung 5, is laid out with pictures inside Steady for Good, my home strength and balance handbook for the over 70s, as part of the simple 5-minute daily plan. No gym, no equipment, and nothing done beyond your own level. The link is in the description below, or use the code on your screen. Once the full ladder feels smooth, keep it alive with a light schedule. Practice the whole sequence twice a week, always by the sofa, always rested. On the other days your regular chair stands quietly, keep rung 5 strong, because every time you rise from a chair with control, you are training the exact push that lifts you from that kneeling position. And one more honest word about the day you might actually find yourself on the floor. If you ever fall for real, do not go straight into the ladder. First, be still for a moment and check yourself. If anything hurts sharply, if you are dizzy, or if something feels wrong, do not force the climb. Stay down, keep yourself warm with anything in reach, make noise, use your phone, and get help. Calling for help when you are hurt is not the failure this video saves you from. It is the right move, and knowing the difference is part of the skill. The ladder is for the falls that leave you shaken but sound, and for those it turns a frightening hour on the floor into 2 calm minutes. Here is what changes in the weeks after you learn this. It is not only that you can get up, it is everything the fear had taken. Within a couple of weeks of practice, most people notice they move differently around their own home, more willing to kneel for the low cupboard, to reach under the bed, to get down on the rug when a grandchild holds their arms out. The floor becomes yours again, and underneath it all sits a quiet fact that changes how the whole world feels. If the worst ordinary thing happened, you know the way back up. Practice it especially in the seasons when you feel strong and steady. Those are the practices that count the most, because you are laying the sequence down now calmly so that your body can find it later on the one day it truly matters. Because this was never really about a trick. It is about never lying on your own floor feeling helpless, kneeling in your own garden, playing on your own rug, living in your own home with the quiet certainty that you can always, always get back to your feet on your own terms for as long as you possibly can. That is what 5 small rungs, practiced a few minutes a week, are protecting. If this helped you, tell me one thing down below. When was the last time you sat down on the floor on purpose? Be honest, I read every single comment, and your answer might be the push someone else needs. And if you want the full ladder with pictures, plus the strength plan that powers it, my handbook, Steady for Good, is waiting through the link in the description or the code on your screen. Before you go, subscribe to Steady Steve, so every week I can help you stay strong, steady, and independent in your own home for years to come. Thank you for being here, and here's to living life on your own terms.